Welcome to World Drum Club. In this lesson, I'm going to be talking about tuning, how to tune 2 drums, how to tune 3 drums. And this is one way that you can do it.
World Drum Club.
All right, so let's get started. This is a tuning wrench. It's a box wrench, an open box wrench. You can also use a ratchet. You could use an adjustable wrench. I don't recommend an adjustable wrench, and I certainly don't recommend pliers. Never use pliers or vice grips on your congas because you could damage them. Most congas come with a wrench. If you don't have one, get a wrench like this. These congas are skin on skin. They take a 14 millimeter. It's also common for congas to be made with a 1/2 inch or 13 millimeter. You can use those interchangeably. In any event, this isn't how to tune a conga drum. This is how to tune 2 drums or 3 drums in relationship to each other. So let's listen to what I have here. And this is one way you could tune your drums. It's not the only way. I'm not saying it's the best way. It's just one way you could do it. But the basic principle is this. Between 2 drums, if you've got 2 drums, only you could start with, and this is a very common interval, an interval of a fourth. And what does that mean? It just means that you're going up the scale from 1, 2, 3, 4. So in this case, do, 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 right? Four steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. So how do you remember this? Well, there's a few songs you can remember. One is the popular "Here Comes the Bride," right? Do 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 do, right? Little Mozart. So that's a very common interval. You'll also hear that in the timpani a lot of the times in orchestras. It would be the dominant and the 5 chord going to the 1. Do 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 do. Anyway, however you want to look at it, it's just notes that are 4 degrees of the scale apart. All right, so that would be common for 2 drums. Here I've got 3 drums. So then what do we do? Now these are the 2 low drums. You could have an interval of a fourth between the 2 high drums as well. And then if you add another drum, generally speaking, again, this is not a hard and fast rule, but the more drums you add, the smaller your intervals are going to get between the drums, either on the low side or the high side. But you can't just have, you could have 3 drums that are a fourth apart each, but then you're getting into, if you add another drum, now you're over an octave between 4 drums, and that's just ridiculous. Nobody needs that. So let's see what I have here. So this is what we call a third. Bum, ba, bum, 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 ba. All right, and this together makes a kind of chord, what we call a chord. In this case, it's kind of what we call major tonality. Incidentally, this goes also up it relates to the harmonic frequencies or harmonic series. So you can have fun with that. Also, this drum, if I put it down flat, the pitch will drop. So you end up with a little bit of variation depending on whether you're tipping your drum or you're not tipping your drum or you have your drums raised up. So generally speaking, just so you know, if you set a drum flat on the floor like these 2 are, your pitch will be about a 1/2 step, not exactly, but about a 1/2 step flatter than if you raised it up. So something to be aware of when you're tuning. And from there, you can have variations. I like to have a sort of a chord feeling. Bum, 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 dun, 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 dun. So it gives you, if you're going to sing a song, it gives you a harmonic platform, or what we call a harmonic ground or tonal ground. It sets up a chord that you can use to sing or say some chants over, sing some songs. Now, one crucial thing, if you're playing with other musicians, if you're playing in a band with other musicians that are playing tuned instruments, there's a couple things you want to consider about tuning. You can tune your drums with the tonality of the song or the scale. That will make it so they tend to blend in. So you don't hear the pitch as much. You'd hear the tones in as much as you'd hear like slaps and the sound of your hands, the sound of the skins, but you're not going to hear the tones as much. Why? Because it's blending with the tonality of the piece. So if you wanted to, let's say there's a piece in D major and you want to tune your drums with D and A and a G, for example, those are all going to blend in. If, on the other hand, you wanted the drums to stand out and to create some contrast from the harmonic aspect of the music, then you wouldn't tune your drums right with the key. So you can do either one. It's not that one is right and one is wrong. Generally speaking, well, I don't know. You'd have to listen to music and see. I think folkloric music, drums aren't necessarily tuned with the harmonic instruments as much, but still a lot of players will use the drums in a harmonic way. And a few conga players, Carlos Pataro Valdez did that really successfully. Different players will kind of tune the drums, create little melodies, and use that as part of the performance. In terms of range, when I'm playing solo or in a drumming ensemble, I like the drums to be a little bit lower pitched. Like these, I would consider medium low. They're not super bright. I like the warmth that you get, the resonance you get when you tune the drums a little bit lower. And every drum's going to have a range where it sounds pretty good. It's kind of a sweet spot. I would say maybe a fourth or a fifth of a range per drum. You're going to have the drum where it's singing, it's got a full sound. On the low end, if you keep going low, it's going to flatten out. It's going to sort of die, right? It'll be more like a flat tire, flapping there with no tone. And then as you go higher, the drum actually will start to get choked. It'll start to get too tight, and the head just won't resonate as much. And so there's a range of about a fourth or a fifth per drum usually. So you can work with that. Obviously, the bigger drums are going to be lower than the smaller drums. If I was playing in a commercial band, pop music, and I wanted the drums to cut through a little bit more, then I would tune everything up. So I might shift the whole range up a third or even a fourth if that's possible with the heads and the tuning mechanisms. All right, so two drums, if you're playing two drums by themselves, maybe an interval of a fourth, that's a great place to start. Maybe a major third, or you could even go to a fifth, but a fourth is really common. And then as you add drums, either on the high end or the low end, you could go with a minor third or a major third. If you're adding more drums, like you get up to 4 or 5 drums, then you might want to have a couple of the drums just a whole step apart. That's 2 semitones, like the difference between C and D, for example. All right, so that's what these drums sound like. Use a tuning wrench, don't damage your drums, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in a future lesson. If you like that, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and enjoy all the other hundreds of videos we have here at the World Drum Club YouTube channel. If you want to invest in your own education and take it to the next level, join us at patreon.com. You'll get access to me, also other videos, and a bunch of downloads that you can't get here on YouTube. Thanks for watching, and thanks for being a World Drum Club supporter.